Thank you. Okay. If you look at this data set, we have state A and state B. Just before we start calculating how dispersed the data is, let's just look at it. Simply just look at it and look for the highest value and the lowest value. State A, the lowest value is 20, why did I write 22? 23. The lowest value in state A is 23. The lowest value in state B is 15. The highest value in state A, 28. Highest value in state B, 35. So if you look at the range, meaning the range from low value to high value, in state A, it is from 23 to 28, right? Now, 28 minus 23 is 23 minus 28 is what? 5. Now, if you look at the other one, the state B, the highest value is 35, lowest value is 15. 35 minus 15 is 20, right? So, if you just look at these, then what do you think? Which one is more dispersed?
State B.
State B is definitely more dispersed. But when you are calculating how dispersed the data is, comparing two sets of data, just looking at these high value and low value and then subtracting the low value from the high value doesn't really mean anything. So we have to do it statistically. And that's where we start about the standard deviation and variance. Are you guys with me so far? So how do we do it? Let's look at the next page. And there I talked about mean deviation on this page. So how to compute the variance, standard deviation? What do we do? First thing, we calculate the mean. We start by calculating the mean of that data, distribution meaning the data set. So if you have this data for 10 states, that means this is your distribution. So we calculate the mean for this distribution of the data first. That's the very first thing we have to do. Second thing, we write down. So these are the steps. First step, we look at X bar. Second step, we look at the distance from each value given in the data, that is noted by X, the distance from that X to X bar. That's the second thing. When you look at these, then this value might be negative, might be positive. For example, let's say your X bar comes to about, I'm just saying it, 28. And your X is 25. So 25 minus 28 is minus 3. So that's a negative sign. When you have that kind of a negative sign, we cannot handle that, because calculating those negatives, it doesn't do any good. So the best way to handle that, each deviation, this is called deviation, we square those things. So it will be X minus X bar squared. When you square it, then you don't have to deal with any negative sign. It's like, it was, how much I said? 28 minus 31 was minus 3. So minus 3 multiplied by minus 3 plus 9. So that's why we square that value to get rid of any negative sign. And then we add all those things up. Remember the group data we did? We were looking at the midpoint, multiplying it by the frequency, and then multiplying both those things, midpoint and F, and then that sigma from your side, it will be sigma. So you add everything up. So we'll do the same kind of thing. So let's start working on that one. You can turn it off.